A new ban list has just been announced. I have not seen it yet, but what we are expecting is probably some kind of hit to Rebels, and maybe aggro. Personally, I think the easiest hit is Essel to 2, since that would affect both decks, and also interfere with some players still using the Seahorse Carrier engine with it. Essel to 3 kind of deletes it from the game, except for in Thunder, so I think that's probably a little bit too harsh. And then, similarly, I don't want to see Invasion at 3, though they might hit one of the other cards, like Shadow Buyer or the Kobold. I don't think there's really anything they can do to nerf Magnum Overlord that wouldn't feel unfair. Putting more pieces on limited 3 or even lower would mess with what the deck is trying to do. And we just got Torna back, so I'm not expecting them to put it back on the list. A lot of players did suggest 7-Zone Magician taking a spot on the ban list initially, but I think we are past the point where SRM Dragius Aggro really sees any play at all, and so many of the skills for spellcasters are designed for SRM to be specifically usable with them. As for unhits, I think we could definitely see Call the Earthbound come off. Nobody's really using it, and it would be another way for us to deal with Magnum Overlord. Rather than hitting anything, they could actually remove Call the Earthbound to give us another way to deal with Magnum Overlord. As long as we can keep a monster in defense position, we would then be able to redirect the attack away, preventing the OTK. And currently, nobody's really using the card because it's on the limit 3 list. Additionally, we could probably see an unhit to Bunker Strike or Pitcher, as it's only got one slot in the entire top 100 of the recent festival. Let's go ahead and see what they've done. Sports Dragon Pitcher to 2. This is exactly what we were just talking about. Pitcher to 2 means you're going to be able to run 2 copies of it alongside your 3 limit 3 cards. On the surface, it is a more harsh restriction, but obviously it's being used to free up spaces in the deck. I think that should help the deck quite a bit. Currently, players are forced to choose between having an advantage engine and running enough boss monsters. But now, they can do both again. Moving it down to limited 3. King's Majesty. That's a pretty interesting one, and not the one I was expecting. So King's Majesty, of course, is a card we can only obtain 1 copy of. And they're basically just saying, if you want to run this, you can run 1 less heavy metal. And this card is also seeing play in a ton of other decks. However, if the primary purpose of Majesty in the current format is to prevent those huge heavy metal swings or an invasion after they wipe their board, then it's not that bad. I think a lot of players are probably just going to try out the guard in its place. Unfortunately, I don't really like this at all, since as it stands, Majesty is the only way we can negate an Overlord's attack. I see there is a no longer on list under here, so we are really hoping to see Call the Earthbound, or this limit on King's Majesty is going to make things really awkward. Alright, so Clear Ice Dragon is free, but no. Call the Earthbound is still at 3. They've just limited the one way players had to stop Magnum. I mean, the Clear Ice Unlimit is totally fine. Ancient Forces is a deck that actually has some legs in the current meta. Rebels are all 0 defense. Trigger Drago is 15. Dragius is 15. So I do want to experiment with Ancient Forces again. But this is such a light hit. The Rebels basically got away unscathed, since so many other decks are also using Majesty. Hopefully we are getting a skill change soon. Thank you for watching.